Have you ever realized the day your child no longer needs you the way they used to is not a sad day? It is a milestone of growth for your child and for you as well. It is that quiet moment when you watch the child who once held your hand every morning now standing strong and confident in the world, no longer reaching back for that familiar touch. Many people call that a loss, but if you look closely, it is actually the greatest accomplishment of parenthood. When you have done well enough that your child can move forward without your guidance. Learning to let go. It sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest lessons any parent has to face, because love for a child has no limit, no end. We were once the first people they turned to for everything, when they were hungry, tired, hurt, or heartbroken. But one day, they stopped telling us every little thing. They have their own friends, their own dreams, their own private pains we can no longer reach. And a part of us starts to wonder, are they drifting away from me? Has the bond faded? But no. The circle of love is simply expanding, and for love to keep growing, sometimes we have to take a step back. A mother once said, "The day my son moved out, I stood in his empty room, staring at the folded bed, and it felt like someone had taken a piece of my heart. But then I realized that piece was not gone. It was just living somewhere else, in another home, starting a new life." That is how love matures. Not by holding on tightly, but by learning to let go. As parents, we are used to protecting. From the moment our child is born, instinct drives us to shield them from every danger, every pain, every fall. But life cannot be learned through constant safety. A child needs to stumble, to make mistakes, to fail, so they can learn how to stand again. And when we keep standing in front of them, we unknowingly stop them from learning the most important lesson of all: how to trust themselves. Letting go does not mean stopping love. It means having faith. Faith that all we have planted through the years, kindness, compassion, integrity, will be strong enough to guide them. Faith that wherever they go, our love will remain a silent lighthouse in the distance. But letting go is never easy. It means facing our own fear of loneliness. When mornings no longer start with Mom, when dinner is just for two, or maybe for one, when the house is so quiet you can hear the clock ticking, that is when many feel an emptiness, as if life has lost its meaning. But maybe that is life's invitation to begin a new chapter. A chapter not about caring for someone else, but about learning to care for yourself. Have you ever asked yourself, after all those years of living for your child, have you ever truly lived for yourself? You once wanted to learn an instrument, to take a solo trip, to write down the memories of your youth, but you kept saying, "I'll wait until my child grows up." Well, your child has grown up now, and you can start again, not as a parent, but as a person. Learning to let go is not only about giving your child freedom, but giving yourself freedom too. Freedom from expectations, from worries, from guilt over not being able to control everything. It is the journey back to yourself after years of giving your all to someone else. One day, you will realize that love does not fade just because distance grows. It only changes form. From daily hugs to a text message asking, "Are you doing okay?" From cooking dinner every night to waiting for an unexpected call at noon. From being there in person to quietly trusting in your heart. And when your child struggles, they will come back. Not because they are weak, but because they know you are still there, just standing a little farther back. Someone once said, "Parenthood is the only job where the goal is to make yourself unnecessary." When your child no longer needs you, that is when you have fulfilled your purpose. That thought is both painful and beautiful. A reminder that love is not about possession, but about giving and leaving something behind. We cannot walk with our children forever, but we can give them wings to fly and a home to return to. That is the true meaning of letting go. Many people think that when a child leaves, the emptiness in your heart will never be filled again. But in truth, it transforms. When you see your child happy, kind and strong, that space fills with quiet pride. Perhaps the greatest joy of being a parent is not having your child stay forever, but seeing them live well without you. One day, you will smile when you look back at the sleepless nights, the worries, the tears when they left. You will realize it was all worth it, because that journey taught you the true meaning of love, to give without expecting anything in return. Learning to let go does not make you smaller. It makes you grow. It teaches you that love cannot be caged, that everything you once protected will change, and that the only thing that remains is peace. The peace that comes from seeing the one you love live their life fully. Maybe that is the deepest peace of all, when your heart is still full of love, but your hands have learned to open. When you watch your child walk away, do not think of it as losing something. Think of it as a part of you continuing its journey, in another form, in another world. And if you listen closely, in the sound of your child's fading footsteps, you will hear something whisper, the sound of love growing up. Letting go is not the end. Letting go is trusting that love will continue, even when you are no longer by their side. Perhaps that is a lesson we all must learn, not just with our children, but with life itself. To let go of the things we have held too tightly, of unfulfilled dreams, of people who have left, of past versions of ourselves we still cling to. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means smiling without pain. It means blessing without expectation. It means being grateful for what was, instead of resentful for what is gone. When we let go, we do not lose anything. We simply create space for gentler, calmer, newer things to come in. Just like when your child leaves the nest. At first, it feels like you have lost everything, but soon you realize what you gain is a new version of yourself, deeper, wiser, and able to love in a truer way. People often say, when children grow up, parents grow old. But perhaps more accurately, when children grow up, parents grow up too. In how they love, how they accept, and how they find peace amidst change. We once taught our children how to walk, how to speak, how to be kind. Now they teach us the final lesson, the lesson of letting go. A lesson that can only be learned when love runs deep. Letting go is not the end of love. It is its transformation. From holding with your hands to embracing with your heart. A love that does not need daily presence, yet quietly surrounds. A love that does not need words, yet always makes your child feel safe, even from thousands of miles away, or about thousands of kilometers away, because true love never disappears. It only changes its form. Sometimes a hug, sometimes advice, sometimes a trusting silence. And one day, when you look back at your journey as a parent, you will realize love is not measured by how long you held on, but by the moment you were brave enough to let go. Because in that moment, your child does not fall. They soar. And you do not lose them. You simply change roles from the guide to to the silent watcher. So if today you feel lonely, miss your child, or feel empty inside, take a deep breath and remind yourself, my child has moved forward, and so can I. Start small. Make yourself a cup of tea, plant some flowers, take a morning walk, write down old memories. Because life still goes on, and your love still lives in every breath you take. And one day, when you can look at your child from afar with calm eyes, without tears, without regret, only a gentle smile, that is when you will know you have truly learned to let go. And maybe, in that very moment, when your hands finally open, when your heart stops fearing loss, you will finally understand what love truly means. Maybe learning to let go is the only way we ever truly learn how to love completely. Because only when we set those we love free can we find peace for ourselves. If you are hearing these words, maybe you too are standing at that threshold of change. Do not be afraid. Do not think you are losing someone. Because sometimes, in the very moment you let someone go, you're finding yourself again. And perhaps that is the greatest gift love can ever give. Learn to let go, so that love can be free and your heart can be at peace.